Hey, Mike.
Hey,
Long
how
time
are
no
you?
see.
Yeah,
Doing
I was in
okay.
California. Yeah, I was in California last week, teaching AI and selling my tool.
Hey, that's so cool.
Yeah, and I've also hired one of your folks, Alyssa. I mean, I know she's a Pickaxe user, um,
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
yeah. Um, um, wow. Well, I'm surprised I'm the only one.
Oh, it's always a little bit of a trickle, but it's good to see you. Yeah. Happy to
Yeah.
talk a little bit about some of the new stuff, but also if there's any specific way I can help, happy to help.
Well, I mean, just kind of as an update, I'm building momentum about building a version of my command center for individual nonprofits. So I now have two organizations that have asked me to basically take it and tailor it. And so I'll probably need help, but I'm going to hire, Alyssa for that, I think. And then
Awesome.
also just the other thing is just that keeps coming up is how do I know this we've talked about it several times, but this idea of having people like an organization get a subscription and have different seats. And I found how to do it on Stripe, but I can't figure out how to sort of cross it over. So if you guys could just, I know you have a lot of different tools, and I know that your workaround a couple meetings ago was just, hey Mike, you can just send them invitations to the same tool. But I just want to put it out there as something to consider for the future.
Yeah, I mean, I think that as we were kind of discussing, it's a good idea. It's something we're thinking about building. I think that I asked you to speak with Benny about the potential to do an enterprise thing because I think it's one of those things that maybe we could experiment with in that capacity. Just because I think our assumption is that if you're needing that level of scale of a B2B service, it's probably because, you're charging however much and, it's just, it's going to be a money generating endeavor that is worth investing in. Hey, Nicole. Hey, Jamie. Hey, RJ.
Hello. Yeah, just so you know,
um,
I did speak to Benny, and she basically said that it was probably best for me to wait on doing
okay.
that, given where I was. So I'll keep you all posted. Uh, yeah. So
Makes sense. Well, I I'll think a little bit more about if it would be easy for us to experiment with that. I think that it's just like creating a little admin management portal within the end user experience. Um, and so it is an additional wrinkle of complexity,
un-
for
understood.
sure.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll I'll keep you posted and appreciate it. And maybe just either on these calls or just keep you posted how it's going in terms of the B2B relationship with these nonprofits.
yeah, I mean, I think that as far as things go, with some of these enterprise customers that we're onboarding, we're starting to put together. They're not real. I mean, Pro still gets all the new features that are material or AI related in any way, and we want to retain that commitment. But just we are already thinking about just like role gradation stuff for our collaborators and stuff that they've asked for. So probably the what you're talking about would not be far behind.
Okay, great, great.
uh, Jamie, I don't know if I've seen you before, but welcome. And Nicole, RJ, good to see you again. Happy to answer any questions. We yeah, we have any new stuff since last office hours? Hey, Jamie. Um, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm here to hear what the new stuff is to start with.
Um, well, I'll show one new thing that I'm personally a little bit excited about. This is a thing that I think might not be so important for veteran users like most of you guys here, but it's kind of a little added delightfulness of the platform. As you guys know, we're working hard to make it so that even in embeds, there's a way that you can gather user email, have them effectively log in and all this. But in the meantime, what we've done is we've taken some pieces of information about the users that we have, and we've given them little names for you to be able to better identify instead of those ugly user ID things. We take information that we might have about the location and information about what they're doing. And so we can see that even though we don't know this person's email, we can see that they are a resourceful consultant from Europe. And we can, that just helps it so that even if we're in a context where we're not collecting email addresses, like this is just a raw embed out there on the website, boom, we're starting to get more identifiable. And that way, like, we can track this person through multiple conversations they have, even if we don't get their login. And then when they do log in, we can say, oh, my resourceful consultant from Europe was actually johnsmith@gmail.com. I can put those two things together in my head. So this is something I'm really excited about. Part of this larger picture of just Pickaxe being the best place to like manage these AI businesses from the back by having these like consistent user understanding. So that's something I'll say there. The next thing I'll just briefly allude to, because RJ, I know we've talked about this a lot, is we're just starting to build final stages of design for the big feature that I'm going to be pushing in the next few days, which is instead of having user memories that are set up where the only switch is just either you choose to use it or you don't use it, there's going to be a couple other options here. And one of the options will basically make it so that your users will be able to, if you choose to let them, they can go into their account on their studio, and they'll see here their memories, and the ones that some of them that you don't want them to see, you can of course set it up that way. But some of them that you do want them to see, they'll see them here, and that'll be cool. And another thing that they'll see here is their documents, and you'll be able to see all the documents that they've uploaded, and they'll be able to see all the documents that they've uploaded, which is just a nice like way to collect those things and help you understand what they're doing better. So that's something that we're excited about. In the next, hopefully by next office hours, we'll be showing you guys that in the product.
So Nathaniel, just
I'm trying to think. Oh yeah.
Clear. And so that'll be like almost like their knowledge bank. So like in other words, an example would be, I'm working with nonprofits. They are trying to make sure that they're working with that grant writer. They want to make sure that the grant writer is speaking with a voice. So they upload, say, 5 grant awards they've had from grants they've written, and they'll be able to see it there. That's what we're talking about?
So by Tuesday, they'll be able to see the documents that they uploaded and list here, and you will be able to see the documents they've uploaded, which might be helpful for you in understanding.
Right.
What it will not quite yet do is make it so that every document is used in every conversation, because there's some intricacy. Some folks would prefer it that every document be used across. Some folks would prefer it that each document is only used in each individual conversation. We want to add flexibility,
Understood.
but having the visibility over it here is going to be a huge benefit, and then, we can start to laser in on the details.
Got it.
I want to welcome Pedro and Surya and Erica. Hello, guys.
Good day. Hello.
Hello, thanks for pronouncing.
Yeah, I do my darndest, Beyond that, well, I guess the big new feature, something that I actually announced on the last office hours, but is now back in arrears and maybe is going to come back hopefully soon is just the ability to make these when they're free to make them one time. I guess it's not quite back yet. Actually, we just kind of had to go back on it because there was some complexity we didn't expect. But the goal is to make it so that you can set free products to be one time, which folks have asked about a lot on this. And then one final thing I'll mention that has kind of been blocked for a little while is this is maybe not super relevant to all of you, but what we're going to have is a new section in this lock tools area that helps you lock pages here, just because the current system for locking pages is insane. So we're going to kind of consolidate it all, and hiding pages instead of just locking them for different tiers is following close behind that. So that should just make it so that you can really have the full range of control. One example of how I was talking to somebody yesterday about what they can do with this is they sell to businesses, but they have folks within those businesses across every different team, folks in accounting, folks in HR, folks in sales, right? And they actually want to have a single studio for that business. But what they're doing is making different products for the different people in those teams and almost treating the products like the different focus areas. And so anyway, excited on the upcoming updates there. Surya, I saw that you wrote in a question about opening studio image. Can you give us a little more context?
Yes, I just created my whole thing and I'm ready to launch. I need to get a
Exciting.
link for it. And I went to the page, that has a studio picture and a little bit content and stuff. But my picture came out horrible. Like it came out
no.
like faded.
Interesting.
Can we share screen here?
You're welcome to share your screen. I'm just navigating over to the place that I think might be irrelevant.
Let me open it up.
But here, you can share.
Okay, let me find it first. And yeah, I've had quite a time navigating your site, but we're getting somewhere. Okay.
We're trying to make it easier, I think. Maybe one day we'll just have an AI that guides you around.
Okay. So let's see. Where do I share? Or is it just sharing?
I think you just click the little box with the up arrow inside of it to share screen.
Okay. Dash allow Google's requesting. Oh God, Google comes up for everything. Okay. Are you okay? Here we go.
Okay, cool.
So I'm gonna get into my studio, right? I'm slow at navigating this, so.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute, that's on yours, not mine. Hold on. Okay, so I'm going in there. And let's see if I can move this out of the way. I'm going in here, right? Or maybe I don't need, maybe I just need to go right into design. Okay, so now this is the picture.
Yeah.
See how faded it is? The picture's not faded like that, obviously.
Yeah, so by default, we put a gradient on it to make it easier to see the text, but I think you can easily, I think actually, let's see if it's here or if it's somewhere else. If you just scroll down slowly, keep going. Okay, it's not here. Do me a favor, and if you see in the bottom left-hand corner, it says edit.
Not seeing
right next
it,
to where it says website.
I have to move you out of the way. Up here, content edit.
There's
I'm not
one where
seeing-
it says website. It's in the kind of bottom leftish area of the screen.
Yes. Edit there.
Click on that
okay.
edit button there.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Now, if you click on the little 3 dots there next to where it says home.
Yes.
And click page.
Edit page.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. I know we're so deep now. This is the deepest you can possibly get in our product. I want to get rid of some of this complexity. If you go over to Hero, we've
Yes.
opened so many menus, and now you click on the menu there at the side of that thing, the little control things.
Okay, as long as you're telling me what to do, I'm good.
Okay, and
Okay.
now I think if you scroll down a bit here, I think that that might be it. You see where it says
Capacity, you
overlay?
mean?
Go to the little
Uh-huh.
X out of the you see the little try that. Try see what happens when you click that. Okay.
That works. Now
So
can I change
it
this
did
to
work,
white tab?
but
Yeah.
so we don't let you directly control the color of the text, unfortunately. What we do is we set it up so that your background color that you select at the design level will, if that becomes dark, it will make the text light. So you would have to choose a darker background color, and then the text will become light, if that makes sense.
No, it doesn't. Background to where? This
Okay.
picture or something else?
I'll show you.
And also,
Save edits.
can this move? Okay, save edits. Thank you.
It can, you see where it says text alignment? If we go back there,
Where do I
by
go
clicking
back
on
to home?
yeah, and you could click on the three dots, or you could click on edit page in the top right. Either one will get you there where you need to go.
All right.
And then Hero again. And then scroll down a little bit here.
Well, who's the name Hero? I mean, do I give my name or what is that?
Hero is just a word for the thing that's at the top of your website.
Okay, I don't
So
need
you
to
see where
put
it says text alignment. That's the control that you have over it.
Oh, you can move it. That's the only control. Well, it might be better on this
Mhm.
side, but we can't change the color of it.
I'll show you how to change the color now if you click Save Edits and go back, and then we'll get to some of these other folks. Welcome, Mike. Good to see everybody. Okay, so go back now, or actually, the easiest way to do it, click on that little artist palette there in the top right-hand corner. We gave ourselves a little out here.
All right.
I hope that button doesn't just
Yeah,
not do anything.
Should I change the
Oh
size?
no.
Should I change the size of this photo so it fits in a little better? Because this is the size it's going to be, correct?
Yeah, you can. Also, you can see what it looks like on mobile. But let me show you how to change the text
Okay.
color. You should go back out. Oh, I see what happens. When you click that palette, it opens it in a new tab. Did a new tab open when you click that little artist palette?
Yeah, I think so.
Can you share that tab instead? And let's just look at that for a second.
I have this tab open. And let's see what else I have open. No, I was trying to find how to get on office hours. So, okay. Now where?
We don't, you need to, there might be a bar at the top of your thing that says share this tab or something.
I don't know. You
we
see
can't
where I
see
am, don't you?
You know, it's okay, actually. If you just, yeah, we could do it in one of a number of ways.
Should I be here? Or
we don't see where you are, I don't think.
Oh, we're not
We see you
sharing
now.
anymore?
Click the
Okay.
back button on this page, if you would.
Where it says home page or up here?
Yeah.
Home?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking
Is
at
it not
going anywhere.
weird? Huh. It's impossible to escape this part of the website, I guess. Weird.
Oh, it's looking now. It's just maybe a little time.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. I go to design there. And okay, now where you see where it says the primary color is white there, just for the sake of giving it a try here, go ahead and click on that and make it something else. Just click on maybe this dark blue up there. You can even just click in the in that big blue area there.
Now that
And you
went
see
white.
the text. Yes. So the color of the text is changed based on how dark your primary color is set. And the reason we do this is just because for other parts of the site, right, we want to just keep it consistent. So I know it's a little bit weird not to be able to mess with the color directly, but hopefully
But that
this
worked beautifully.
gets you a little bit along your way.
Yeah, and I go back to move that around, and maybe if I adjust the picture, it'll come better, clearer.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to, Mike, I want to answer your question, but I saw Erica had a pickaxe prompt that won't open. I go to edit and it comes up blank. So Erica, I wonder, could you
So
give
I
us a little bit more? I've actually stopped your sharing anyway,
You
so
undid.
one way or another.
Okay, good. Okay.
Um,
Thank you.
I
Thank you
wonder,
so much. It was
is
so.
Eric? Yeah, happy to help. Happy to help whenever possible. I think Erica maybe is no longer with us. Oh no. Well, we'll see if we can get to her question if she comes back. Mike, I think the floor is yours.
Thank you. I've owned the domain name supermom.com for many years, and I think that it's time to launch it and actually do something with it. I think that having it as an AI bot that remembers all of the important things about moms and their kids, and say, like, this is my kids' names, their birthdays, things like that, and that it could help to say, hey, you know what, they're spending too much time on their phone. What's like an emotionally intelligent way to explain what natural consequences are to me. Help me to in every phase of life, even being parents of adults. I think that it would be fantastic. The questions that I have are, I know that AI has some challenges with remembering and keeping enough stuff in memory. And I'm wondering how you overcome those, and how would you go about launching with your platform something like this, where there's a lot to remember about each individual, to be able to give them really good advice or be their daily companion going forward through life. And the second one would be kind of like pricing. So those are just two questions.
Well, I can answer the second one first a little bit more quickly by just referring you over to the pricing page here. But to kind of dive into memory and what you're trying to do, first of all, really cool. Love the idea, love the domain name. Second of all, I think Pickaxe fits very well into what you're trying to do. Essentially, like Pickaxe, depending on how you're using it, you could just consider it to be like this drop-in technology that allows you to provide exactly the kind of service that you're talking about providing. I'll show you just like a 2-minute whirlwind overview of kind of the easiest way to set this up. This is something that I have called Murder Mystery Manor. We have a whole little website builder. Whether or not it's a good website builder remains to be seen, and we're trying to improve it. But basically, it lets you create these experiences, and they look a lot like ChatGPT. You might just have one bot in here, or you might have several bots to help these moms. But we help you even have an account system so that these folks can log in. And even if they are logged out, we use cookies to remember who they are. You can see here on the left that I've got all my historical conversations. You're right that by default, AI has a difficult time remembering who people are and what they're doing, but when you're using Pickaxe and when you're using our studio, we're tracking, we're giving people access to the history of their conversations. And then the other really big thing, the kind of this, the final piece of the puzzle, is if you take a look at our user memory system. If you've ever used ChatGPT, you know that it collects memories, right, and stores them away, and that's how it gets around the problem of, you know, you want it to learn about people and learn about exactly as you're saying, Mike. So what with Pickaxe, we give you as the builder some control over that. What you can do is add a memory, and it, for example, you might say like, maybe your first one is just personal information, right? And this is like, you know, how many kids, where they live. You know, you would tell it all the different pieces that you want, and you know, but then maybe the next one is like, maybe you, as you're building this tool, you realize that a really important thing to keep an ongoing memory about would be, you know, their mental state. You know, problems they're having, etc. And so what with Pickaxe, what we allow you to do is, you were asking about how do I get an AI to, you know, build this picture of people over time, and we allow you to essentially structure how that memory looks, and then as people use the tools, boom, those things are going into a persistent memory. If they leave and come back with a new conversation, that memory is going to influence that conversation, and it's going to become more of a companion for them. Even if they use, like, this might not be relevant for you, but even if they use a different tool, that memory still carries over. So I know this was a little bit of a whirlwind, but did this go some way towards answering your question?
So what you're saying is if I prompt the prompt to prompt them to give me those answers, like kids' names, birthdays, preferences, allergies, all that kind of stuff. And if they start, you know, it will remember, say, hey, you know what? I know that within 5 days it's your daughter's birthday and she's allergic to nuts and dairy. These are some options for a recipe for a cake that you said that she loves chocolate cake. This may be an option for you, right? And these are the ingredients
Yeah.
you need to buy for that. Is that
That's exactly
is that
right.
right?
Yeah.
Prompt-
You
the
can kind of
prompting
think
for
of
that
this.
information.
You can think of this user memory system like prompting a note taker for what to take notes on, that takes notes on every single conversation all your users are having. And then those notes can be used when, you know, in future conversations, if that makes sense. So I don't know how much you've used Pickaxe, but in a different part of the product, you'll have the builder where you'll actually build the bot itself. So this is where you'd put in how you want it to behave, all that stuff.
Okay.
But then this is where you're prompting the note taker for, well, what type of things do you want it to learn? What, maybe there's certain things you want to make sure it doesn't keep track of, you know, like personal information or something, you know. So you can kind of control all that. But the long story short, you know, without trying to be too presumptuous here, is if you just have this domain and you want to build kind of what you described, this like drop-in mom AI product that can learn about them and become a companion and advise them, Pickaxe is without a doubt going to be the fastest and easiest way to do that. That's kind of our bread and butter, if that makes sense.
Yeah, the last question is, this is really quick, but if Pickaxe would be willing to do some sort of joint thing, I think that supermom.com would be a really amazing press release for you. And I think it could help to get more exposure out there if somehow jointly we could get it to blow up. But anyways, if you're interested in a discussion like that, I'll just put my email in this chat for a later time.
Well, we always, for any customer, we love to feature them in the newsletter that comes out twice a month. We have a survey that folks can fill out, and we'll do an interview, and then we'll do a customer feature in the next newsletter. We'll post on socials about it. We can also do an interview with folks and then post that to our channels, which has a lot of reach, partially to just show, like, look at all the different ways people are using Pickaxe. But we just had one with a doctor who's talking about, like, a one of the tests that they have to take, a platform that he built to help folks study. And obviously, we put that out to our 5,000 YouTube subscribers or whatever, and it's beneficial for us to show these use cases, but also beneficial for him, because if any doctor sees that within our reach, maybe they'll go and say, hey, I want to check out this product. So totally keep an eye out. I think the newsletter is going to go out on Tuesday. But
Okay.
we love to work with folks and with customers.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
And good to meet you as well.
Good to meet you. Thank you.
Nicole.
I got one for you, Nathan. Yeah. Mike just prompted a question for me. I had submitted this in the community forum, but I haven't seen an answer yet. When
no.
you land on our studio, in the bottom right corner, it says powered by Pickaxe. But I've also set up an affiliate, but the powered by Pickaxe on my site just goes to yours. It doesn't appear to be tracking my affiliate link.
Hey. Oh my God, Nicole.
I'd kind of like that cash flow.
No brainer idea. Whoa.
Thank you.
I mean, awesome. Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
let's just say this.
Cool.
By the end of the day, let's make it happen.
Cool. Thank you.
I think we of course, if you are good enough to not turn that off, which you can, and instead, support us, without a doubt, it should be tied to your affiliate link. Man, I have not, I think in any office hours, of all the suggestions I think we've gotten, this might be the most no-brainer thing. And there's good competition.
Yeah, thank you. I win one. I'm still confused on a bunch of other stuff, but RJ and Don are happy here. Oh, thanks.
As long as there are no follow-up questions, I'm having a great time, because I'm so excited to put that in production. We want more people to take advantage of the affiliate program. For those of you guys that don't know, we have like a very generous affiliate program, I think. I mean, not to toot my own horn here, but we are paying out, if you use your affiliate link, 40% of revenue for a year. That somebody stays. So just trying to spread the love, in some sense. Well, thank you, Nicole. Is there another question that you have? Just because I feel like that one was such a
there is, but I
snowball.
forgot it. There is. I'll come up with it in a minute. I forgot it. You got so excited. I got to come back to it.
Chris, I see you raise your hand. Good to see you.
Thank you. I don't know if you've answered it. I came in late. But do y'all have any API connections for the knowledge base, or plan to?
Interesting question. Okay, I will show you. Now, the very first thing I want to say is, which for the folks that are regulars in these office hours, they know this is the number one thing I say is, it's something that we really are excited to do. We want to do more. So we are thinking about making this easier. I'm about to show you something that's a little complicated, but we want to make it easier. We want to make it so you can just connect some of this stuff with one click. But I'll show you what we do have today. So as you know, you can put stuff into the knowledge base via jumping on the site and, putting it in the builder or what have you, But for pro folks, we have this wonderful Studio API, and there's a whole document section to it. So with this, you can completely control what's in the knowledge base. You can delete and add stuff via API here. So many of our customers, I would say, maybe this is Greek to them in some sense, which is fair enough, and we want to make this easier. But it is possible to have a completely programmatic adding and removing of documents. And in fact, a secret thing. I know, I don't know why there are always so many secrets, but I'll tell you the reason. It's because we're experimenting. And so one of our awesome experts is working with a client, and they asked us for this, and we're testing it out. This, through the API, Chris, this might not be so relevant to you, but you can actually set it up so that documents are user associated now, this new thing. In the past, either documents are associated with a pickaxe, or they'll always get used whenever you're using that pickaxe, or associated with a conversation. So they'll always get used in that conversation. But we've never had documents connected with a user so that every conversation that user is in, it will use this document. So this might, Chris, be a little bit TMI, but for those that are interested, it is now possible with the API to do that. And we're going to make that something that's more possible, like in other parts of the product over time, but just still in the experimental phase with the API here. Other questions, Chris, on document stuff?
No, I mean, so can I explain what I'm doing? Just maybe I'm going a different, or you have a different way of going about it.
Totally.
So
yeah,
I have a website that I created that aggregates videos from a ton of different creators. And the reason why I did it is because there's one creator in particular who likes to have very long videos. And if you can't remember exactly which video it was, you're scrubbing through hours of video trying to find that one thing. So what I did was I used a scraper to go to his web channel or his YouTube channel. I scraped all of the transcripts, and I created my own CMS powered site that has all the transcripts, the video, everything. And what I want to be able to do is have a pickaxe on there where if someone goes to the site, they can ask, hey, what's the best whatever for this use case? And it will scrub through all that dialogue and give them the right video, the right maybe timestamp even. I mean, I don't know how powerful it can get, but that's what the API, I have a way to have my own API from that site, and I wanted to see if I could connect it to Pickaxe.
It's a great question. So with what I'm showing you here, you could set up a beautiful connection between these two pieces of software. It would just be pretty complicated to do, but you could absolutely do it. I want to just share a couple. I surround
myself with very smart people. That's
well,
always much smarter than I am.
It's no problem at all. Let me say a couple of other things that might be helpful to you that folks might not even all fully know. One thing that I will say is, for a YouTube link, if a user puts a YouTube link in here into the chat area, we will go and scrape it and get the information. So we do that. And likewise, if in the knowledge base you add, like in fact you can see here, I've got
you're not
YouTube.
sharing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ooh, man, you do this for so long. You in the knowledge base, you can see here that you can just stick YouTube videos in here. And in fact, you can actually put in a whole YouTube channel, a link to a YouTube channel.
I tried that. It keeps failing on me though.
Well, it can be a little finicky, but let me just try now with our YouTube channel just to see.
Okay.
And part of the reason why it's a little finicky is because, as I'm sure you might have noticed, YouTube sometimes does get a little angry that you're trying to just take all the information from them.
I can't even begin to tell you how much effort it took to get all those transcripts from each individual video. Oof.
I guess this is all kind of just for everybody else's benefit, because you've already gone through the work of getting those transcripts. So in that case, I would say that, as we're waiting for this to finish, the easiest thing to do would be to download the whole darn thing as a giant CSV or Excel sheet and just upload it to our Pickaxe knowledge base, which you can do. And that would take about, not that long. And the slightly more advanced thing to do would be to go over to the API and set it up this way so that it's a dynamic link that updates over time. But it would just take jumping through a couple extra hoops. You would almost certainly need somebody in the middle, basically triggering something so that when you add a document, it causes this to trigger, and it puts the document in our system. Our system needs to have the documents in it. It can't just reach out as needed, because if it doesn't know what you have, then it won't know whether or not it needs it, if that makes sense.
I use active pieces right now, so that's my middleman.
Well, I bet you can do it with active pieces.
Yeah.
I'd wager. Okay. Well, first of all, have you been on one of these before? It's great to meet you. I don't think
No, I'm not. Sorry.
Pedro, I see that you have a question. Maybe? Or everybody just put that down their hands real quick.
Hi,
Maybe.
everyone.
Okay. Hey, Pedro.
So, hi. Please bear with me. Bear with me because English is not my first language. Please. Okay. So,
Okay.
I have a proposition. What if Pickaxe could make a super agent, like one action that has all actions, and we as builders, we can use it with a system of credit, because right now we can use actions, especially for me. For example, I'm not a pro, so I have hard time to connect actions. Even if I was a pro, I would do actions in based on my special cases, use cases. But what if Pickaxe could have one action with all the actions, and people can use it using the credit system? Would be good, I think, like a
Pedro,
super agent.
it's so funny that you mentioned this, because nobody's ever asked for this before, but this is something I've thought about a lot. And in fact, we are actually already working on. It's like the Pickaxe MCP, and it will be able to do all the basic things like search Google and generate images, but it will also be able to do some things like maybe mess around with your knowledge base, adjust user memories. In fact, connect to our API so that if you connect it, it can do things, to improve. So this is something that we're working on. And I'm excited about it. I love that you're the first person to ask about it, because that's just a sign. And next week there'll be 2 people, and the following week there'll be 4 people, and then it'll be launched. But
because you know why? Nowadays there are many super agents that are coming out, like Kimi K2 open source and Abacus AI. I think you know as well. They got their own benchmark super agents, and it's kind of the new thing right now. So, but I appreciate your initiative that you're already working on. Thanks.
Yeah, I think we know that some people, one of the things we like at Pickaxe is that we give people detailed control where they want it. Some people say, well, why doesn't my bot just automatically search the web and generate images and do all the things that ChatGPT does? And we usually say, hey, you can make it do all that stuff, but we want to give you the control. Maybe you don't want your users to, do all that stuff. But Pedro, it's a great idea, and I appreciate you asking about it.
Thanks a lot.
Nicole.
Yeah, I figured out one of my questions. So I'm going to set up a separate studio for certified coaches that I'm going to be licensing to use my systems. And so one of the things that I'm trying to figure out is if she's using my pickaxes, how will that work? Like, let's say she's managing 5 clients and she's using my pickaxes and the memory, and it's one tool. So let's say it's the tool that helps them, I don't know, figure out the title of their book. I mean, it's amazing to me, Pedro, that in a second language, you're asking brilliant questions and I'm asking 101 questions in my core language. I'm like, I don't even quite get it yet. So anyway, any thoughts on having a studio that's for licensed coaches that are managing several clients for people? And part of my problem is I don't want my licensed coaches understanding how the pickaxe is programmed.
I'm glad you asked this. Let's dig into this. Let me just reiterate what I understand the situation to be. You are working with some other folks, some awesome coaches who themselves want to use the AI tools with their clients. You are building these things with them.
Mm-hmm.
You are maybe like, what are you currently doing? Are you giving them access? Are you inviting them as a collaborator? No.
I haven't done anything yet. Right. So if I were
Okay.
doing this without Pickaxe, I might create the custom GPT and then I would share the link to that GPT for them to use.
What we're going to launch to everybody probably tomorrow. Well, I say to everybody, I'm sorry. By everybody, I mean pro customers. Pro only feature, but still from us to everybody, I'll show you because I have it here, is the ability to invite collaborators to a studio as either a full member or as just a viewer.
Okay.
So what you could do is I'm just making some assumptions that might not be true about your business, but if each coach you work with, you make a new copy of the studio, then you would, and you don't want them to know about how the pickaxes work, but you do want them to, for example, probably be able to manage user stuff and even maybe see the conversation so that they know what's going on with their users. But you don't want them to be able to edit the pickaxes themselves.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
You would create a new copy of the studio. You'd invite them as a viewer, and they could do pretty much everything except for edit the pickaxes. And that might serve this use case well. That's why we created that.
Okay.
You think
All
that
right.
would work? Or maybe I'm misunderstanding. I just want to make
No,
sure.
yeah. Well, it's interesting because it does get more. So what's happening is I've got authors that are coming in and they're using my studio where they can access my pickaxes. But then those authors are going to be linking up with one of my certified coaches as well. So in an ideal situation, my certified coach could go in and see the author's user history.
Right.
But I also have tools. I mean, this is where I'm running into trouble. It's whether it's, author-led research. But the problem we're having is author-led research needs human verification that I can't do all. So I want to certified people that are doing human verification, and then us humans know to ask better questions. Right.
But
so now
I guess
I've got
the problem that I'm seeing from what I've just explained is that if you have this all happening in one studio, what you'd like is to be able to compartmentalize the people coming in and assign them almost to these certified folks. Is that correct?
that would be cool. Yeah. Mhm.
Well,
But
what you'll be able to do is invite them as viewers, and then you can just say, hey, like, break this up in the way that you see fit, because none of them will be able to see the bots, which is what you want to protect, but they will be able to see the usage, which is maybe what you're comfortable, having that
Right.
human verification in there. A step that's going to come soon in the next 6 months is the ability for those folks to then, once they're looking at these chats, to be able to leave feedback and even potentially add a turn or chat directly, intervene from the AI. So that might end up being a really cool way for those certified folks to get involved. We're still kind of in the early research stages of thinking about how we'd want to do that, but hopefully this pattern that I explained is a good first step.
Okay, I'll have to figure out the logistics. Okay, thank you.
I see we've got a question from Kimberly.
That's me. Can you hear me, Nathaniel?
Yeah. Hello.
Oh. All right. So I would love to circle back to something you said earlier, and it really pertains to what we're building. So we're essentially building an AI toolkit suite to help 6 and 7 figure business owners get to that 8-figure mark. So have you met
Cool.
Steven? He's on these calls sometimes. Steven Diaz?
Probably. Yeah, I
Oh.
think so.
So if you want to check it out, it's 8fig.ai. I can drop it in the chat so you have a point of reference.
Cool.
And so this is all built on your platform, and we love it so much. But we have some functionality requests, and one of them is exactly what you stated before. So imagine if you have a 6-figure business owner, they're coming into this cool toolkit, and they create an account, right? They have credits or whatever. And one of the things that we encourage them to do right off the bat, and you'll see it in the start here area, is to add or upload an info doc. So this info doc is basically like their brand kit. Tell me all about your brand, tell me all about your business. And we want to upload that into the brain of like their specific member, I guess, seat, so that everything that they do with all the other tools, so maybe they go to our P&L tool and they want to learn about finances, or maybe they go to our 2-question downsizer tool and they want to learn how to optimize their team. Every time they go into another Pickaxe, it's remembering all of that basic data from their business. Like, this is what they do, this is who they serve. So they don't have to start over from scratch every single time. And when you said that earlier, I was just like, oh my gosh, yes, this is what we need. But I'm not sure how to implement that or make it work within like kind of what we're creating already.
Well, I'm happy to touch on that. First, let me just say, great to meet you. Thanks for coming to office hours, and love that you love Pickaxe. We're here to help. We want to be, how many is 8 figures? That sounds like a lot. Whatever we want to go from whatever number of figures we have to the next number as well. So we can work together with that. I will tell you exactly what the solution to your problem will be, and it will exist next week. So sometimes I know that's a little bit silly, but basically what it will happen is right here where it says allow users to upload files, there's a switch. Historically, what this does is this lets users upload files, and it's only for that conversation. But exactly as you're saying, we want to be able to see, sometimes you're building a tool and you want to make it so that the files that are uploaded, as you're saying, they become that user's profile. They follow them around everywhere they go. So we're still exactly dialing in on how it's going to look, but it'll still be here. And you'll just have the choice to not let them upload files, let them upload files only pertaining to that conversation for that bot, or let them upload files that whenever this bot takes in a file, that goes for that user and it's stuck with them forever. Does that make sense? Oh, you're muted, but I think that was maybe a positive.
Yes. Love it. This is going to be great.
Technically, you can do, you can start to do some of this stuff now using the API that I was speaking with somebody else about, but I'm not even going to go into it because for most folks that's too complicated, and we're going to put it in we're going to make it one-click button anyway next week.
Perfect. I'll be looking forward to it. And can I give you one little piece of encouragement before I hop off?
Yes.
You guys are doing the thing that brings you from whatever figures to your next figure. Like just listening to your people and building on demand what the market is requesting and requiring. You're totally on the right track. So you guys are going to be amazing.
That's good to hear. Now I know. Now I know what's going to happen. I gotta say, Bozzy Apps, but I'm sure you have a real name. Oh no, I know you're off mute, but we still can't hear you. There might be a problem with your audio. You can try to fix it, and if it doesn't work out, you can also write your question into the chat. Either way.
There we go. How's that?
Oh, yes.
Figured it out. Okay, cool. I'm Derek. Sorry. Yes, Bozzy Apps. I was trying to frantically click to change my name, but yes. So I have a question about memories, which I saw somebody just write in the chat, with a user who might submit a memory that would be saved, but it could be variable, I guess, variable length, like variable values, which one user might have one memory, another user might have 5 for the same like bucket. So like to be specific, it's the age of your kids, which some parents might have 1 kid, some might have 5. So I want to save the age of the kid, but different people have different numbers of kids. Is there a way to make that happen? Have it like an array that's maybe storing one or more than one value?
Yes. So this is where it gets a little bit interesting, because we do it in a way that's a little bit different than the way that ChatGPT does it. And there are pros and cons, but I'll just show you. So you've got your memory here, and you're thinking about this in terms of buckets. And you're like, hey, well, if you just have one age bucket, what the heck? We do, our system, at least as it is now, and this is one of the things we're thinking about improving with the new memory system that I've been foreshadowing here, but we are a 1 bucket system. Each of these is actually 1 bucket. It's about 1,000 words. It's 1 bucket. But the cool thing about it is it's 1 bucket that's edited by AI completely. So if you just put in this prompt, instead of like age of child, you said like list of all the names, ages, and favorite colors of their children, this will keep a list up to 1,000 words, which is a pretty big list for this type of content. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it's almost like a just all-encompassing like just profile of what they're working with, and you just throw a blob at it. Yeah.
The way to think about it is that each of these buckets, each of these memory buckets, the AI can see and edit over time. So, you know, you can use them to just store 1 word or one small piece of information. You can also have them store like dynamic summaries of what's going on if you want to.
Okay. Cool. That's helpful. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
kind of think of it as just like a paragraph, less than like a database entry.
Exactly. You know, I think don't think about it like a database, because it's more powerful than that. And also, if you treat it like a database, it might act weird.
Yeah. Sure.
Just like if you treated a person like a database, they might start acting weird. Mike asked a question about privacy and security. So actually, I'm due. My team is pressuring me. They assigned me to make a video about privacy and security, and so I'm overdue on it. I'm hoping to put it out this week or early next week. I will say, we'll put that video out and you can see some privacy and security stuff there. We also just recently updated our terms, and actually I learned something that I did not know. So first of all, everybody should read the terms when they're using a product. I mean, these are not written by lawyers. I wrote these. I mean, you don't have to read the whole thing, but just like put it into AI and get an understanding, I guess, to some extent. But I want to call folks' attention to this area. So just, we're pretty transparent about this, but we reserve the right to train on conversations unless you're pro. And if you're pro, we agree not to train. And we're just using this as just an added incentive. If people are using it for sensitive business stuff, we want them to be pro. We are at present not actually doing any training, but it's just, something that we say, okay, we reserve the right to do this. But also the model providers are important people to pay attention to. What are they up to? Are they training? And for the longest time, I thought no model provider we work with is training, and I learned that was not true yesterday. most of the guys everybody's using have non-training commitments. OpenAI's and XAI's, believe it or not, and Mistral's are the strongest. They actually have 30-day data deletion guarantees. So not only are they not going to train your data, but they're saying we won't even have your data at all. We're going to just completely delete it after 30 days. You know, you can't ask them to do more than that because they are going through it for like porn and bombs and such. So they do have to do that, but then they delete it. Anthropic actually does not commit to deleting the data. Gemini does not commit to deleting the data. They just say they won't train on it. So interesting. But then importantly, DeepSeek does train on the API data. So if you're using DeepSeek through us, I actually think we're going to remove DeepSeek probably next week because I learned this. They are training. So they're the only one. All the other ones at least say they're not training. We're going to put out this data privacy video soon. So stay tuned for that. But hopefully this is a helpful little overview of what's going on. And I know we're at time, but happy to answer any final questions on this if people are, you know, this made a question pop into somebody's head about data privacy. Probably just because it'll help me make a better video. If anybody has any.
Quick follow-up on OpenAI. There was a judge that required them to keep data. I haven't heard anything more. Have you? That's all.
I cannot give legal advice.
No,
and
I'm not
I'm not an
asking.
expert on this. But my understanding from where I sit at a high level is that mostly pertains to stuff that's going on in ChatGPT and not relevant to the API is my understanding. That might not be fully correct, but that's my understanding. And we relate to them via the API, so it should be good. At least last I checked yesterday, or yeah. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining these office hours. They're getting more and more fun. We are, hopefully a couple of you just know this is a regular thing that we do on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But if a couple of you guys might have come in from the emails we've started to send out, we're sending out emails to new customers. We're only going to send out those emails for like the first week that you sign up for Pickaxe. So if you're annoyed by them, don't unsubscribe. They'll stop happening after a week. But we're just trying to get more people in and talk to them in office hours. And we really appreciate you guys taking the time to spend this time here with us today. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.